Well, I am back. This is actually 3 weeks of working on this one project. Okay, 3 weeks, but it has not been full-time at the shop. As you know, I got a life and work outside of this, and then I had some family over, and I left this, which is attempt 2. Not only with the custom tool that I made, which was way too flimsy to go in there, the thought process of how much of a hook I needed was wrong. I think that all it needs is somewhat of a little bit of a profile, but still going with the sphere shape, the roundness that you need. So it can't be a straight tool because it only makes straight lines. But I've been doing quite a bit of this with the parting tool. And by going in and out and keep going and widening the curve a little bit, it works pretty well. Now, I know this would work if I wanted to take this parting tool and bend it over and make a little bit of a hook to it. And that way I could follow up the contour. But it's really the only decent parting tool that I have, even though it's an old Craftsman and nothing special about it. But I use it quite a bit. And like I said, I really hate to modify it. But I really want to achieve this turning that I got started. I want to make a sphere inside of a circle, inside of a cube. So, I don't know. I'm going to try a little bit longer with it straight, but I might have to heat it up and give it that little hook and continue this. Let's get started. Now, I've been able to go in there, like I said, and work it off, and you know, I'm already true. I mean, I am true to this side, as you can see. So, and the sphere will not fall through on this, because the sphere is much bigger than any opening that I got here. The openings are not the same size, and they really should be. They should all be identical. So I'll have to work with that on the next one, if I ever make a next one. Get my tool rest pretty close in there. Going to true up this outside area a little bit and make it up about the size of these. Right now the cube is just on expansion mode on one of these openings inside of the chuck. To true up this out here, I'm just going to go with my 3/8 bowl gouge. Go in there. I'm going to turn it in reverse. Nice and easy, because in reverse I can work the angle a little bit better. even though I did not show. But also, last week while working on this, I bent a small file that I had around, and to give me that little bit of that radius that I figured I would need on this as well. I use whatever tools that I can see. Now, with already a few openings on here, I do see a ghost image of the sphere itself, and I can see that it's fairly close to a sphere. Close, not totally. So I'm gonna grab these two sides and I'll get it started with between centers with a live center in place. I do have the center points here. And what I will do is make a concave, or get started with the inner circle, and that will give me kind of a recess. a recess to mount on my jaws for the opposite side. Sharpen it up a little bit. So by doing that, I can go either recess or expansion mode on my my chuck, and therefore it will give me the opportunity to hollow this out, and then I will have a nice bigger recess that I can do the final mounting. And all of this is experiment. Experiment, experiment. And why even do it? I think that I get bored sometimes. And it's not that I'm trying to prove anything, but I sure as heck am trying to reach the next level. And reach the point that says, okay, what can be done on the lathe and what can't. And that's the only reason why I'm doing this. So back to my 3/8 spindle gouge. I'm going to go in here and start bringing this out until I see the sphere all the way through. And that will give me already five sides, and the last one will be the one that's on the 10. Okay, gonna get started in here. And I'm gonna go with a parting tool. The parting tool seems to be the tool that does the best for me on this. In reverse. Just gotta keep widening the curve as you go in all the time. Now the shape of the sphere, like I said, I can see it. And I can see right now this is sticking out a little bit more than I need, and it's looking like a football. So I have a little bit of room that I can go in here. Now I have a very small area here that's solid on these corners still that I have to contend with, and I'm actually afraid that once I get all the way through that it might separate. Well, I still got enough on this side so it won't probably separate, but at some point this sphere is going to separate while I'm doing a cut, and I have to be prepared for that and make sure that I'm not applying too much pressure where I get a nasty catch. There will be a catch, but hopefully it's just a controlled catch and not something that's going to be out of control. Still going in backwards. I probably will do this very bottom with the with my Dremel tool and the drill bit in there. But I will keep that together until I get to this bottom side. This is way too close to being completely separated for me to mess up at this point. And like I said before, whether if I clipped it off or not, I will through all 6 sides on my drum sander, my disc sander, in a little bit. and see what I can do with that. Now when I put this in, I got enough room to go flat against the back of the jaws. Now I'm not utilizing the, what do you call it, the angle of the jaws to lock it in that's established with the Novichok. I am just flattening it up against the back and see what that gives me. Now I should be able to go in there and get this last one separated, hopefully. Going backwards again. Let's see if you can see that shape that I'm looking at. So you can see right there the shape of the sphere. And I'm just going in there with a wide curve and trying to maintain that. And that's kind of why I needed the curved tool, which did not work, so I would not be kind of jagging up the back side of this too much. But I think that what I got there is enough for me to separate this now. Just a drill bit. This area right here, this sphere, I have to do a little work on this. I have a little bit of a step here that I'm not going to be able to clear up with the drill for sure. So I will see if I can go in there one more time on expansion mode and fix this one sphere a little bit. Right now there's only a small section that's holding up the sphere in place. And I have to see where that is. Just that one corner right there that's held up. Well, not a moment too soon. And with a little bit of that, I try not to think negative. I always try to think positive, that it's doable. But I must say, this one really had me going, and had me thinking for a little while that it was not going to be a success. And is it a success? Well, a success should be something that's really defined, refined, inside and out, no flaws. So, with that being said, this is far from success, because there are flaws. There are flaws on the inside cut, and there's the flaws that it's really not a perfect sphere inside. I'm sure if I turn it around, we'll see that it has a little wobbleness, or slightly off round. But the success is that it's inside of the cube. So in that respect, I feel I've succeeded what I was trying to achieve. I know a lot of you don't use Facebook, and a lot of you are not friends on Facebook. Even though if you want to be a friend, don't just send a request, because I get hundreds. I get lots of requests of people that I don't know who they are, and I don't just click accept. But if you are a YouTube watcher and you watch my channel and you definitely want to follow me, then send me a message first. Say, Al, I watch your videos. And with that, I will click on add to friends. Now, the reason why I'm bringing it up is on Facebook I post a lot of stuff. Little things prior to turning, little commentary, whatever. And 2-3 weeks ago, I posted, Houston, we have a problem. I think I lost my mojo. With that, there are lots of people telling me where, maybe I can find it. It's like, oh no, that can happen to you. It's being said in just as a joke. But the follow-up of that, Houston, we have a problem. I lost my mojo. I found my mojo. It was hiding inside that cube all this time. I needed to make that happen. This is inspired by initially the vase that I was trying to make that separated. The floating vase. Now, this is no easier. Actually, the cube might be a little bit harder because you are more concerned with the sphere inside. If it had a neck sticking out of it, the idea would have been the same. It's just I would not have to sphere that out. It would just continue with the neck. So that's still going to come back into the lathe. But I'm not one that likes to do things for the sake of doing it. It's because it calls out to me. It's because I am in a mood to do it. I occasionally do it for a challenge where I want to challenge myself, see can it be done, can it not be done. And the vase was really that. I did the bulging, and with the bulging I was like, ooh, wait a minute, how about if I separate? So the idea of the floating came about. I was close, and I learned. I know what I did wrong, what I would need to do to change that and to make it work. But I didn't feel like coming back to the lathe and say, see, I can do it. That's, I failed that one, but so that's not how I am. But the idea of it floating also keeps on growing and coming up with different ideas, like what else can be done? Like not necessarily a floating vase. I mean, what do you use it for? Yeah, well, it floats, big deal. But a cube, it's a decorative piece, and it will be a talk piece. And not necessarily, oh, look at that vase inside of a cube. you know, nice. The talk piece will be, how did the sphere end up inside the cube? So it's there. I don't think I'll be making another one. I don't need to prove that I can do it. I don't urge you to go ahead and do this. This is not a challenge for many of you. I know there are some very experienced, more experienced than I am, people on the lathe, and probably could do that. And probably easier than what I did. I'll come up with different ideas of what I was using that maybe it would work on their case. So, yes, there are people very skilled on the lathe that if you want to go ahead and try it, by all means, if you come up with something different than what I did, I would love to hear from you and how you approached it. But for the new turner, it's really not a project to go out and do. You know, the tools that I tried, what I tried making up, the first one, I realized I made it too skinny. I know why I was making it skinny. I was making it skinny so it would not get caught up, because it's radius in all directions, and if it was too wide, then it would hit top or bottom and really not give me the contour. But that was the problem right there, was making it so skinny. Worried about it hitting top or bottom, that if I had made a thick 1 inch or 3/4 inch at least thickness on that cutter with that slight bend, that would have worked out beautiful for me. The idea was working. Halfway, when that other one failed, I found a small file. It's a chainsaw blade sharpening file, and with that I gave it a hook, and I made it with a cutter so I could turn it in both directions in the lathe. But if I was doing it backwards, running the lathe backwards or forward, and I just threw a temporary handle. I didn't know it was going to work. I was not going to waste a lot of time making a handle for something that probably would not work, just like the first one. And the first one I did was in a square piece of stock, slid, epoxied in. The blade was long enough just for me to see what it was going to do. Now, if it was a blade and it was going to work out like, wow, I can use this for a lot of things, I would have made a handle specifically for that tool and kept it with other tools. But this one will probably end up sticking around, and I am sure that I can figure out different ways that I can use this, or make it a little bit shorter and still have some sort of a tool. A different tool. Anyway. So this, I mean, it's a little wet. I just applied some clear lacquer on this. And lacquer dries up fairly quick, but it's not there yet. And the cube, you let me know. What do you think? Definitely. I'm glad I found my mojo back in here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Who knows what? Probably nothing like this. Well, I know that it's going to be nothing like that. But like I said, the vase might come back sometime just for me to do it, to have one piece done, which was the original idea. So, but if you do it, let me know. Send me a picture. alfretardo@rebelturner.com. Easy enough. Send me an email, and I will see and respond, and maybe show it on my channel if you so want me to. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.